So many of you wouldn't believe that in my younger days, I was quite heavily bullied at school. I had more or less like a bowl cut of hair. And I was really quite small. I was quite slim. I was really quite thin, actually. I had two massive goofy teeth. We'll probably put a picture somewhere in here. And I was quite bullied for much of my school, which led me with quite low confidence. I ended up going to a martial arts academy or martial arts. It was at the bottom of Bayton, my first martial arts, and it was a traditional martial arts. And because of my dyslexia and ADHD, I couldn't concentrate in the class. So the bullying was not just at school, it then went into the martial arts as well. So if you can imagine, I went to this martial arts class hoping to gain some confidence and experience, or confidence. And actually what happened is, because I couldn't concentrate, the teacher used to put me with older students for sparring. And I remember once I was singled out because I couldn't concentrate, I wasn't sitting still. And she put me with a group of brown belts and black belts, and they did some open hand, like body sparring. And I come away from it absolutely bright red. All my chest, my stomach, my legs were absolutely bright red. And it was because of I think it was either one of the parents or something, must have mentioned it to my mum and dad, and they never took me back there. And then I went to another martial arts place in All Saints, which was with a guy called Mr. Sharp. And I was that scared of the experience I had from the other martial arts place in Bayton that it was just enough to actually just get me there, to build up the courage to get there. But I was that scared that during the class, we were stood in rows, and there must have been about 20 people in each line. There was about 3 lines. It was a big martial arts school class. And I was busting for a piss. Absolutely busting for a piss. But because I was petrified, I daren't put my hand up, because at the old place, I'd be told off. So I stood there and pissed myself in front of about 50, 60 people, just stood there. And I remember my mum was in the audience, and she saw what was happening. She dragged me out of the class, and she was like, what's going on? And I was just petrified. And it was for many, many years that I didn't actually go back to martial arts until I put the courage up to go to the British Martial Arts Academy, the guy called Brian Beck and Ashley Beck. And I ended up going there for numerous years, up to the age of about 18. And from the bullied kid who really was quite quiet and introverted in school, I went to a British and world level kickboxing and demonstration martial arts. And I did that from the age of about 14, 15, all the way up to about 17, 18, until I snapped my ankle. So basically I'd gone to a competition abroad, and I'd damaged my ankle during a spar. And then when I did the demonstration martial arts, I did a back somersault and I landed on my ankle funny. And I twisted and snapped the ligament. And I ended up having to have 7 screws in my right ankle at the age of 18, 19. So that's actually where my kickboxing kind of career kind of stopped. I tried to get back into martial arts, but every time I tried to put weight through my foot, my ankle would just jar, and it would really hurt. I mean, like, I'm not too bad with pain, but that was on a different level. So that's where I found myself getting more into the weights and the weight training. And a lot of people would say about how is that kind of appropriate, or how does that help you with coaching? And I mean, to me, what that does is having to go back into the classes and having to pluck up that courage to go in somewhere which I was so uncomfortable doing. I know how that feels like going into a gym. Gyms are an intimidating environment. People always think that people are going to be looking at them, judging them. If you've come down to S20, you'll know that's not the case, but still it still has that kind of feeling that people are going to be judging you because you're just getting started and you're the newbie, you're the beginner. Now, many of you might have kids, and you're probably taking your kids to football or dancing or whatever it is, and you always say to them, come on, just go, you'll be fine. But yourself, you never actually do that to yourself, and you don't put yourself out of your comfort. But I understand why. If you've not felt confident, if you've not felt comfortable coming to a gym, especially if you come in to see a personal trainer, you think that person's going to be in great shape. They don't really understand what that feeling is. Well, I'm here to tell you that I do. I've been there and I've done it, and I've pissed myself in front of 50, 60 people. So, yeah, that was me, just probably from about 13 to 17. That was me.